Hey, this will be a video chart on TSHO, Trade Show Marketing, and very nice looking chart, obviously. If we scroll back, you can see that the chart's been in a great uptrend. It was way here under 20 cents, and now, we're up over $1. So overall, chart's looking very nice, and you can see that also from just glancing at both the 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages. Both have nice separation between them, and better yet, you can see they're clearly doing the uptrend sloping thing, and that's what you want to see from an overall chart perspective when you're looking at the overall trend. This chart will be a little bit more, I guess you could say, short-term, medium-term focused, just because from the long-term perspective, there's really nothing much else to say besides it's bullish, it's in an uptrend, and like I just showed, you can tell that simply by looking at the 50 and 200-day moving averages. So recently, volume has really kicked in. And the good thing about that is the price has reacted accordingly. What would have been pretty kind of a big bummer is if had all this volume kicking in and then the price either went sideways or worse yet down. Not the case here, so it's good to see that there's a good little bullish correlation going on. So with that, right now the question is kind of where are the support levels and where are resistance levels at. This chart, though, is a little strange in terms of volume action, and I'll show what I mean. So right here, nice volume, increasing price, and then we had a spinning top here on big red volume. So this would make any chartist say, okay, it's looking like there's going to be some sort of pullback here based on this candle. The next day you have a gap up and it goes even more, but yet volume was a little less. So that's this is definitely not what you would normally see. The next day you have a big kind of bizarre day on less volume, and then today you finally get something a little bit more that makes sense in terms of a sideways day and on less volume. But this transition to this day, this is definitely the exception and not the rule. Now, don't get me wrong, the bulls I'm sure were loving that, and that's totally fine. But just kind of a little charting lesson. If you see this pattern, usually that means there's going to be some sort of pullback. But TSHO bucked the trend and became the exception and not the rule. So kind of a unique action kind of going on here the past few days. I'm not saying that's bad by any means. I'm just saying it's unique, and usually you don't see charts act like that. So supports and resistances. Where are some key support levels at? Well, the one that seems to be holding up pretty strong now is where this open was on the gap up day, which was at $1.27. You can see we did have a low drop down to $1.25. So this area right here seems to be kind of a shorter term support. And once more, I want to repeat that I'm doing this chart more from a shorter term to medium term perspective. If we squish up the chart, you'll see it's overall on a long term uptrend, but more so, this will just be going over kind of the near term stuff. Now, the other more kind of important support is that I'm looking at is simply this one right here at $1.14. Why do I think that one's a little bit more important? Well, it's a little bit more breathing room and a little closer to the moving averages. Usually, the further and further the price gets away from its moving averages, the more and more overextended it becomes. So if the price were to fall down here, it'd catch up to its 10-day simple moving average and get closer to its 20-day. So that would make the chart kind of look like it's kind of reset, make it look kind of healthy again. Because right now, technically, it's still kind of overextended, but overall, holding up nicely. So looking at the supports, these are the two that I would be, most kind of, I don't want to say concerned, but I would acknowledge the most. And this one would be the ideal one. And for kind of the best looking chart setup, this is the one that you'd want to see hold. Now, if it doesn't, don't freak out because you still do have the 20-day simple moving average underneath you, which would also act as a support. But like I said, if you'd ask me, hey, what would be the best, kind of sexiest looking chart setup, it would be worst case seeing this level, come down and see the price hover there. If it held up there, that'd be even better. But this would still look pretty darn good for the chart. Now, in terms of resistance levels, really the chart's in blue sky breakout territory. I was kind of messing around with it before I did the video, trying to find out some support levels. This is a weekly chart, so if I even scrunch this up, you can see that essentially, the chart is in territories never seen before. This is 2005 back here, so for argument's sake, the chart has been in blue sky breakout territory for a while, and You're obviously seeing the results. It's really taken off. But from the shorter term perspective here, we can find some resistance levels right now. Kind of have what looks to be a minor one right in this area here at $1.48, $1.50, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to make that red, make it a little skinnier. And then really the only other resistance is just simply where it peaked out last time. That is up here at $1.62. So right now I guess technically you're not in a blue sky breakout territory since you do have this above you, but as soon as the price gets above this level, you're once again in blue sky breakout territory. So every time you make new highs, technically you're pushing to grounds never seen before. Hence, you're in blue sky territory, and it's pretty much up to the profit takers on where they want to put in, the next resistance level. So it's one of those kind of good things because the price can really get moving. Bad things, you kind of have to use your gut sense because there's no really other resistance levels to kind of help you trade by. So, and then the one last thing, if you do get some more sideways days, or maybe it pulls back a little bit more, you want to see smaller volume days. You don't want to see something like that. That's wouldn't add up, perfectly. But once again, ideally, smaller volume would be better to see on any sort of pullback days. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please shoot me a message. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody. It's all free, no strings attached, so it's worth at least signing up and giving it a try. One last time, this was TSHO. Thanks for listening.